Guys, remember SoundCloud rappers? Fuck them. Yeah, honestly, Lil Uzi is the only one that turned out pretty decent.
Era of rap is looked at as one of the most controversial eras in hip-hop history.
I fuck with the
that
SoundCloud
time
era,
produced some of the biggest legendary artists of the current day, such as Lil Uzi Vert, Playboi Carti, XXXTentacion, and Juice WRLD, just to name a few. But not everyone was as fortunate enough as them to maintain a stable fan base that would carry over and listen to their music for years to come. My name is Grisha, and today we take a look at some of the fallen off artists of the SoundCloud era, where we document how they gained some traction, what
Kid Boo, Jumex, I kind of remember him, Little Pump and Little Xan. Like, I feel like the only one, none of these people are relevant. What the fuck?
caused their downfall, and what they're doing today in order to continue to make a living. So today's video has a criteria that each artist must fall under. Number one, they must have either one or more songs with over 10 million views / listens. Number two, they must have fallen off to a point where most people watching this video probably haven't even thought about them in some time.
I bet a lot of people haven't even heard about these people anymore.
Like the new people coming up, to the point
like
that
younger people, the new people. Bro, I got called like people are just younger than me. I'm like the new people in the world. Let the money get to his bro. Little Xan had one good song. He was fucking stupid. Sure.
The first person in this video is someone who I personally haven't heard of in what seems like years, and that is Kid Boo.
Dude, I remember Kid Boo.
He's essentially someone who tried to use the SoundCloud rapper essentials blueprint to rise to fame, and while it did work for some time, he's just a prime example that having the look is not enough.
This guy was wild, bro. And he had like, it's kind of crazy how many people had like millions of followers during the SoundCloud era, like millions of plays, going on tour, doing all these crazy things, blah, like popping off, becoming famous, and now like they're irrelevant and like all out of money. Crazy. Noah Cyrus's ex-boy. Wait, Little Boo or Kid Boo?
So that while Kid Boo didn't have the most musical talent, one thing he had going for him was that he seemed to have the marketing knocked down pretty good. Throughout his entire run, he stuck with the narrative that he's a SoundCloud rapper clone that was created in a lab.
First gen was born in Jersey. However, I was cloned by Clonate in Canada. My model number is 0112568 if anyone wants to see the registration in Clonate.
And even made some videos in which you could quite literally see two Kid Boos, presumably the original and the clone, being seen together in the same room.
So
as for
cringe.
the music, you may ask, it seemed like Kid
Boo
wanted to apply
Clone AIDS, bro. I believe him. Of course you do. You just like the music.
The whole clone thing to the different music he would create as well, as he quite literally copied the styles of other popular artists out at the time. The biggest one being the song Dead Roses. Ain't no heart up on my shoulder, ooh, dead that whole like roses, ooh. Which was just a blatant ripoff of Nav and Lil Uzi's Wanted You.
All this ice, I need a freezer, whip it up, back beater.
Hey,
even his biggest song to date, Death to SoundCloud, which is sitting at 12 million views on YouTube, had clear influences from artists like X and Ski Mask at the time when
he stole everything, bro.
And ad-libs. Although I'm not gonna lie, that song did go crazy back at parties in high school. But it seems like all of Kid Boo's biggest songs came from around 4 to 5 years ago at this point, and many haven't even heard of him since then. So that leaves the question, what happened? Well, first of all, the obvious part is that you can only get so far by copying and biting other artists' styles. Like, yes, we get it. Your whole persona is being a clone, but while it was a decent marketing ploy at the time, it got old pretty quick and it wasn't going to be a long-term experience.
You think if they spent the billions and trillions and all the secrets and everything going on, like the details and all the science, they're gonna fucking spit out some fucking fart SoundCloud rapper like, this is what we use our cloning for, is SoundCloud. This app is ours, or like, what the fuck?
Used for Kid Boo to copy other artists. That mixed in with the fact that fans and even other artists already didn't like Kid Boo from the get-go due to either the copying or allegations he had of child abuse, among other things, such as his ex-girlfriend making an hour-long video exposing him for the things he had done to her. In fact, other big artists such as Lil Uzi and Trippie Redd have called Kid Boo out on social media.
Bro, I love how Lil Uzi's Vert's picture, and he has never changed it to this day, is so low peep. Is that dope?
Both mostly for copying their music and claiming that he did it first.
Shout out Uzi.
Hey, look, dude talking about I stole, I tried. Your ass is trash, boy. Your ass is garbage. Now, what happened was, see, my beat was made in 2018. Like, the nigga nigga wanted to be on the song, but I kicked him off the song because he was so damn trash. He said, I try my heart to be the answer. I said, what the f is this shit? So I'm
dang, they roasted. I used to love, bro. I used to love Trippy, bro.
The beat and shit
I used to really love Trippy, but he fell off so hard.
It sound better than all that.
I like old
album,
Trippy,
you know what I'm
but
saying?
new
But
Trippy
I did.
sucks.
I tried. You know what I'm saying? I made a real song. Yeah. Hey,
dang, that's crazy. Old Trippy used to look like.
He know where I'm at, man. I stay in LA, man. You know where I'm at.
Since his peak in 2018, Kid Buu has only gotten one song to surpass 1 million streams, and that doesn't really count either because that was the song that he stole from Trippie Redd. Other than that, it seems like every single year his streams have been declining more and more. So then what does Kid Buu do now in 2023, you may ask?
Probably
well, he actually continues to drop music, but it's clear that he's
11K views.
2023, you may ask. Well, he actually continues to
imagine going from 12 million on a video to 11K on your music, bro.
Drop music, but it's clear that he's way past his so-called prime, with his only single of 2023 having only 34,000 plays on Spotify, which is actually a funny number since that's roughly the amount of monthly listeners that he has left on Spotify. Damn. He has also confirmed that he is indeed not a clone and that was all just a marketing scheme in a video uploaded to his channel 2 months ago.
Previous interviews y'all seen before, from then on I said, like, oh, I was cloned, and
what a goofy thing to have to admit to later on. Like, yeah, it was just marketing, and like it failed terribly. It wasn't good. It was stupid, and I was a grown ass man doing that shit. Yeah, I know, right?
Just being smart
about the clone video. And bro, yeah, he's literally filming this in his home. He's like acting like he's talking to somebody, like an interviewer, but there's nobody there, and he's just like not looking at the camera.
No. If you guys really want to know, I know this will probably be like the most moment, but nah, I've never been cloned. I'm a human being just like you, regular person.
Shocker. However, despite this, he still seems to be copying rappers regardless of that fact, as he's moved on to copying the cadence of a new popular rapper, Yeet, with the song No Feels recently.
I really would make it this shit like a prophecy. Fuck every nigga back then who doubted me. I'm out here trying to make my
dang, that does sound just like Yeet.
Also, it seems like since the music checks dried up due to the fall off in popularity, Kid Buu has also started a second gig as an OnlyFans star. And while no, I did not do my proper research on the content that's there,
Chad, you better not.
He copies those types of creators as well. Speaking of music checks drying up, however, that brings us to the second person in this video. Once again, this might be a person whose name you haven't heard of in a while, if ever, but if you were tapped into the industry plant video trend back in 2019, I'm sure the name Jumex would ring a bell.
I remember seeing him as features
one day
on
in early
shit, but I don't remember
it seemed
him.
like everyone who listens or watches
guy?
music videos of hip-hop got the song Trapped by Jumex recommended to them on their homepage. Believe it or not, despite the insane production quality of the video, mixing, and even being directed by a former Golf Wang member Taco, this was Jumex's first song ever. Instantly, everyone who knew better realized that this didn't add up, and the YouTuber Progress actually dug deeper and proved that Jumex was indeed an industry plant that was essentially trying to ride the wave of scream/sad rap that was taking over the hip-hop music genre at the time.
How Jumex got industry planted.
Essentially, a talented person
what exactly is an industry
pockets
plant?
came across an old video of Jumex smoking weed in class while yelling World Star.
So, flashing the free-falling object is given by the
World Star, let's go!
Bro, honestly, isn't that crazy? Like, this is a piece of like historical evidence. Like back in our days, like people would go in class and smoke weed and yell World Star, World Star, in the hopes of getting posted on World Star, or they would go up and they'd knock a street vendor's table over, go Boot Gang World Star, and people would go around and just fuck with you and fuck shit up and break shit and yell World Star and start fights and just break shit like Supreme Patty, Boot Gang, all these fuckers back in the day. They would just destroy shit with the hopes of getting reposted on a big page and going viral. You guys remember those days? It's like extremely stupid shit going in like vape stores, like breaking bongs.
Saw he made music and decided that he's seen enough to know that he had a future megastar on his hands. They clearly wiped
squeezing lemons in their eyes
image and started putting out well-produced music videos that had a decent budget and even promoting
that face tattoo screams industry plant, bro.
This is at festivals. Trapped, which is currently sitting at nearly 10 million views on YouTube, was followed up by Loner, which was another quote-unquote hit that has 11 million views at the time of this recording. Personally, industry plant or not,
and I've never fucking heard any of it.
While I can certainly say that I hated Trapped, Loner was actually a song I added to my playlist at the time. However,
wow.
those two singles would be Jumex's peak, as he's yet to get anywhere near the numbers of those two songs, and his debut album would flop only months later. And
yeah, bro, that fucking album cover is horrendous.
And his EP at the end of 2019 performing even worse. It seemed like Jumex was just a failed investment on the label's end that didn't produce the success that they hoped he would. As for why that is, I just recommend you take a close listen to some of the songs that were made during this time, getting the label backing. The lyrics had close to no substance, and his entire image of this internet sad boy musician came across more forced than anything else.
It looks
I wouldn't
so
even blame his falling off to the heavy industry.
Like look at it, bro. He's like, I'm sad, I'm emo, look at my collar. Billy Eilish. So stupid.
Plant accusations, because an artist like Ian Dior,
I think his name was Bex here. Wait, did he really, London?
Faced the same thing essentially early on in his career, but due to his talent and the ability to make a decent song, he's actually had a quite decent career and even a #1 song, Mood, with 24K Golden. It just seemed like Jumex wasn't ready for the music industry at all, regardless of how hard they were trying to push him. They gave him a Travis Barker collab as well as a Lil Xan collab, who although at the time was kind of already on his way out of the industry in terms of popularity, but nothing stuck, and eventually it seemed like the label had taken their L and shelved him. But the question still remains, what's Jumex doing now? Well, like Kid Buu, it seems like he's still making music, although I'd imagine he got out of his label contract and is now fully independent. And you know what? While it's honestly not my style, I'd say his new music isn't even that bad. I could definitely see how some people might enjoy it, honestly. But of course, without that label marketing, it's no surprise that he's currently struggling to get over 50,000 streams on his most recent release. I do gotta give him credit though. It seems like he's trying to market the songs himself via TikToks, and he even made one TikTok finally admitting himself that he was in fact an industry plant.
Industry plant pulls up to the studio.
Do you need anything, bro?
But regardless, the wave has passed. The sound, the industry, and the audience have.
I mean, I don't really know how that helps his brand.
I personally don't have the best feeling about Jumex's career trajectory moving forward. Speaking of Jumex, remember that guy that he collaborated with?
I had no idea about
Lil Xan? Well, it certainly wouldn't be a video covering
Lil Xan had a huge fall off because Xanarchy was such a huge.
By the way, spoiler alert: Lil Xan is by far the most successful person on this list, and I use that word success loosely there. I'm pretty sure everyone watching this video has heard of Lil Xan, but if you haven't, he was essentially an artist that generated buzz almost instantly with his song Betrayed being uploaded to the Lyrical Lemonade YouTube channel. I'd say a few factors.
I remember, you guys remember back in the day, you used to wait for Lyrical Lemonade uploads, and there'd always be banger music videos and banger songs.
Lil Xan that initial hype buzz. This was late 2017, which was really when the emotional / sad hip hop genre started taking off, with artists like Lil Peep, X, Juice WRLD all growing in massive popularity. Lil Uzi was at an all-time high in his career at that point with his single XO Tour Life and his album Love Is Rage 2. And Lil Xan's Betrayed was just another song that fit that style of sad rap, and I'd be lying if I told you that I hated it at the time. I actually messed with this song a lot, plus the fact that a rapper had the name Lil Xan was wild and added a shock factor that essentially forced people to click on his music and see what he was all about. Keep in mind, this was
his name was pretty crazy because that was like the Xan craze, the Xan period when everyone was popping Xans. There were tons of Xan overdoses. Now it's fentanyl. But still
in the media a lot as well. Lil Xan would go on to have an extremely brief but somewhat successful career, as he had a few songs pop off with some insane numbers, had a famous relationship with Miley Cyrus's sister Noah Cyrus.
Dude, you remember the pictures of them kissing? It was so funny.
Like a princess, and when I'm hungry, he gets me chicken nuggets.
And even went on tour with Nicki Minaj and Juice WRLD. However, Lil Xan's downfall was so crazy. Big that it could have
he was on a Nicki tour.
Video, and plenty of creators here on YouTube have already done that if you'd like a deep dive. But essentially, Lil Xan just wasn't talented, which was first seen when his debut album Total Xanarchy flopped and was pretty garbage. That mixed in with his label / management drama and drug addiction definitely contributed to his inevitable downfall. I also think that people saw through the hype pretty
the picture of bro where he squishes his nose against her. Dude, I would be so embarrassed. I would never be able to go out in public again. listened recently, man. Like, dude, this, I remember this shit. Everyone was just clowning him.
Quickly, as Lil Xan became a meme almost as fast as he blew up. He continues to release music still, but way less than he did in the past, with him releasing less and less songs every single year. However, I do think that because of how big he initially blew up, he will continue to get at least some streams and social media interactions moving forward. He's currently sitting at over 2.8 million monthly listeners still, although those seem to be coming from songs that he released over 5 years ago at this point, with him not having any real hit songs since all the way back in 2018. And speaking of 2018, which kind of seems to be the last time many of these artists were relevant at all, but that brings us to the final artist of this video, Icy Narco, or as I like to call him, Lil Pump version 34 Blue.
But I remember Icy Narco. What the fuck? This is such a weird memory I have. I don't know why this just popped back up, but I remember Icy Narco from some bullshit on the No Jumper podcast.
Bro, Icy Narco was essentially that, a Lil Pump clone with blue hair, just less viral. I first found out about Icy Narco from his music video on No Jumper for the song.
Yeah, dude, yeah. I used to like to watch the No Jumper shit before it became so fucking weird.
Mediocre music that wasn't sustainable for a long career in the music industry. He did have some buzz with songs like Link getting over 10 million views on World Star, but this was just another case of we've seen this before. He was signed to 10K.
You don't remember this,
which is a label that has worked with artists such as Trippie Redd, 6ix9ine, Ian Dior, and more, but was very clearly dropped sometime after his album Winner Can Be Murder failed to perform in any successful way at all. Although he was an XXL freshman nominee.
Bro, XXL freshman stuff used to be so cool.
I deserve to be the XXL freshman because I taught SpongeBob how to play the clarinet.
But as for what he's doing now, that's kind of a difficult question to answer. I wouldn't say that he continues to make music, since he only released one single in 2022, and that was in the first quarter of that year. He also hasn't posted on Instagram since September of 2021, and it seems like Icy Narco just disappeared or hibernated. I don't know, but either way, I hope he's okay.
I guess you could say he's froze
from social media, but as far as I can see, I could not find anything about this dude in 2023. One thing that continues to be clear about every artist mentioned in today's video is that at the end of the day, not everyone is ready and talented enough to have a long, successful career in the music industry. You might have one or a couple of songs pop off, but regardless of your size at the time, if the talent and drive isn't there to back it up, the fall off will be inevitable. But that's going to be it for today's video. Let me know if I unlocked some hidden...
I thought it was Lil Pump, but no, that wasn't Lil Pump, bro. It wasn't. Oh, alright.